I think the role of the Prime Minister is to ensure that every single citizen in this country feels safe and respected. It's a shame the Prime Minister doesn't share that.
Yes, did our Prime Minister bring absolute shame to PMQs today after Keir Starmer made this glowing tribute?
Mr Speaker, this week the unwavering bravery of Brianna Jay's mother, Esther, has touched us all. As a father, I can't even imagine the pain that she's going through, and I'm glad that she's with us in the gallery here today.
Mr Speaker, well, we are bringing the waiting list down for the longest waiters. We're making progress, but it's a bit rich, Mr Speaker, to hear about promises from someone who's broken every single promise he was elected on. I mean, I think I counted almost 30 in the last year. Pensions, planning, peerages, public sector pay, tuition fees, childcare, second referendums, defining a woman. Although in fairness, that was only 99% of a U-turn. The list goes on, but the theme is the same, Mr Speaker. It's empty words, broken promises, and absolutely no plan.
Keir Starmer.
Of all the weeks to say that, when Brianna's mother is in this chamber, shame, parading as a man of integrity when he's got absolutely no responsibility. Absolute. Of all.
Now, I saved you the ridiculous Lindsay Hoyle, but clearly our Health Secretary, Victoria Atkins, found our Prime Minister's crass bit of transphobia quite funny. But clearly you could tell Keir Starmer was quite embarrassed and clearly angry by what our Titchy Sunak had said.
I think the role of the Prime Minister is to ensure that every single citizen in this country feels safe and respected. It's a shame the Prime Minister doesn't share that.
Well, if only if our Titch could have been given the opportunity to apologise to the mother of Brianna Jay for his crass, insensitive, transphobic comments. Well, Liz Twist gave him that opportunity.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. And may I take the opportunity to ask the Prime Minister if he will consider apologising to Brianna Gray's mother for his insensitive comments. But turning to my question, the independent report into Teesworks, released last Monday, throws up more questions than it answers. And it's vital that we now have a National Audit Office investigation. The report was scathing and said there is insufficient transparency to offer evidence of value for money. Shouldn't the government lead by example, and will the Prime Minister finally release details of his conversations surrounding Teesworks, as he was asked to do twice last year?
Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, I think the Honourable Lady was talking about the report in Teesworks, as far as I could see, and what that report noted was that the pace and scope of the regeneration had a wide-reaching positive impact on the local economy, and of course it was an independent external report. It makes it clear that there's no evidence of corruption or illegality, and the government will of course respond to the recommendations in the report as soon as possible.
Even when given the opportunity to apologise, he couldn't do it, could he? When given the second chance to rescue the situation and prove he's not a bit of a transphobe, he failed miserably. Even his statement at the end was an apology, wasn't it?
And Mr. I could just say also to Brianna Gray's mum, who is here, as I've said earlier this week, what happened was an unspeakable and shocking tragedy, Mr. Speaker. And as I said earlier this week, in the face of that, for her mother to demonstrate the compassion and empathy that she did last weekend, I thought demonstrated the very best of humanity in the face of seeing the very worst of humanity, and she deserves all our admiration and praise for that.
Even at the end, I thought his statement at the end was pointless, and I'd go as far as saying doubly insulting for what he'd said at the start. Should have just apologised and said, yeah, it was a crass and insensitive remark and I shouldn't have said it. And even SNP MP Hannah Bardell was not impressed either.
Granting me the opportunity to raise concerns and say how horrified I was during Prime Minister's questions to hear the Prime Minister on his feet during LGBT History Month and on a day when Brianna Gay's mother was in Parliament to make a transphobic joke across the chamber. We come to this place as elected representatives to improve the condition of others, do we not? And at a time when the trans community are facing unprecedented attacks from people in this place, from people in the other place, and from the media, it is incumbent upon us all to reflect on our language, on how we approach these issues and how we talk about the trans and non-binary community. And I think, and I hope she will guide me in how we can make sure the Prime Minister apologises. He was given the opportunity towards the end of Prime Minister's questions and refused. But whether she can encourage him with her good offices to take the opportunity to come back to the chamber to apologise for those remarks and to remove them from the record, because they do not reflect, I believe, the majority of the views of the people in this place who want to respect the trans and non-binary community and make it better and easier for them to live their lives in safety instead of in what is becoming increasingly a hostile environment.
Yeah. And now for those who say he might not have known Brianna Ghey's mother were there. That's no excuse, because he shouldn't be saying transphobic statements full stop. But what do you guys think? Now, did our Prime Minister bring utter shame to PMQs and quite possibly politics? Let me know down below and I shall bid you farewell and take care, my friends.